Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the Redington virtual sessions. Today's topic is from Okta. The topic is emergency remote work via SSO and MFA. Our speaker for today is Ravi Pitwala, who will be taking you through the presentation. At the end of the presentation, you can drop in your questions in the Q&A box and we will answer all your queries. Ravi, over to you.
Hello everyone, good morning and thank you for joining today's session. I am handling Okta as a pre-sales consultant in Redington. Today I'm going to give you the introduction for the Okta product portfolio and the demo for the single sign-on and multi-factor authentication. And these two products which I'm going to discuss today, in the face of this COVID-19 situation, Okta has launched a promotion. So any customer who requires Okta and the partner who is going to close this single sign-on MFA deal for the month of April, all their customer will get license for 6 months. It's free of cost. So just keep in mind that any of your customer has any requirement, they are going to get benefited in this situation. So millions of people use Okta every day on any device that they have access to get all the application and data they need to do the most of their important work to connect to their company products and services. And even one of you might have used it, and what all our customer they are using Okta, and you even is not aware of it that Okta is the one who is working on the backend for the authentication. So these are the customer, one of the biggest customer that we have. You can see that 17,000, 72,000, 25,000. So all of this customer, they are not using Okta only for their employee, but the companies like Coca-Cola, LinkedIn, Tesla, they are using Okta for the partners as well, or maybe the suppliers between whom they want to work. And you can see that there's a laptop screen, a desktop screen and a mobile. So the Okta functionality is available on the desktop version as well as on mobile version. There is an application is also available. So I will show you how you can use the both version. Now, when we think about Okta, then what customer or an employee thinks, they think it as something that makes their job easier. There are couple of category of application within IT where every employee at a company uses it and every employee uses it every day, and Okta is one application which is from that category. Again, the people who use Okta think of it as something that makes their job easier. Now you can on screen see that there are multiple applications. So once you log in into the Okta, you can launch any of the application that you require on your daily basis. You don't have to provide username and password for each application. You just log in into Okta, click on it, and then you can start working on that application. So that is the main reason that how Okta is how become very popular, because it makes the not the life easier for an employee but the IT team as well. Because of this, all employee doesn't have to remember the username and password for each of the application. That is the most important thing. So why do millions of people use Okta every day? Of course, the main reason would be the breaches that occur, and cybersecurity has evolved from vandalism to theft to war. And if we see the recent study that has been conducted, there are numbers that is enough to speak for the volume of the breach that has occurred. And most important thing that I want to focus is that 88% of the breach is caused by stolen or weak password. So we know that not every employee in the organization is going to keep the password complex. They will use very simple password which they can remember easily. Maybe the combination of birth date with their name or their loved one's name or their identification number, unique identification number. All this is the main reason why breaches is caused by the weak password. Now, when we think of this, we think as a two pillar. One is the people and second one is the technology. So what Okta is offering is no matter what kind of people that is there in your organization or with whom you are dealing, it can be your employee, it can be your contractor, partner, most importantly, your customer with whom you need to work, or anyone. And there are wide range of varieties, different application is there, different devices from which application can be used. Now we know that bring your own device is there in all the company, so employee can access application not only from the company's premise for but from anywhere over the world through the internet, and the company's network become the borderless, maybe through a wearable technologies, IoTs and so on. So what Okta is offering, we are giving you the choice to connect any kind of people to any kind of technology. And the main core of for this is the identity. If you know who is the person who wants to access what kind of application, then you will have the better control. So that is the main fundamental behind the Okta. That is the core of the people and the technology is identity. And when we talk about Okta identity, it is born and built in cloud. So from the day the code was written, it was written in keeping in mind that this technology is going to be 100% cloud. Now you cannot use a technology like Active Directory or LDAP, which is designed for on-premise. You run that instant on the cloud and get all the features which Okta is offering. That is just not going to be possible, because all of us, we know that we are going towards the cloud. Everyone has started to move towards the cloud. So you need a technology which is 100% built and developed in the cloud. And by doing this, we are giving you the choice of connecting everything. For example, we are not a tech company where we want to bind you or bind an organization to use specific application. Okta is a vendor neutral, it's independent and unbiased. We want to connect our customer to the technology that they want. We are not trying to, connect them to a stack. Like for example, Microsoft want you to use Office 365, OneDrive and Dynamics CRM. They don't want you to use, for example, Google application like any Google application or for Box or a Salesforce. But Okta want you to use whatever technology is going to make your business successful. And so we connect everything. And that is the reason by connecting everything, we preserve the choice that is fundamental for you and an employee of a company. And that is just not today, but that choice is in future as well. Of course, that what application is popular today may not be popular in the future, and the increasing rate of change in enterprise software means the tool that your user need are changing faster than ever before. So you need to have a future-proof solution which Okta is offering. And if you are going to do what Okta does, manage the millions of identity of world's leading company, you have to be sure that 100% secure. So Okta is 100% secure. We are compliant with all the mandatory compliance that is there on the cloud, and all the certificate is available on the Okta's website. And keeping in mind that we are the front door for every employee's access to the tool that they need, we are in between customer and companies and their customer. We are also in the revenue system, because of which the employee can work on different application. We have to make sure that we are reliable than anything we connect to. and we are that as well. We have the data center across the globe which give you the 100% uptime. And this is the Okta Identity Cloud Suite. So these are the different products that we offer: single sign-on, adaptive MFA, universal directory for these three products, for which I'm going to show you the demo. Lifecycle management is again a very important feature. For example, if an employee joins a company today, and in the meantime of the working during the company, his role might change, he might get a promotion. So during that period he might require to access a different application, and he also get the privilege to access sensitive information. And finally, when he leaves the company, we need to make sure that this username and password is deleted across all the different applications. So we have that feature where we can provision and deprovision the user automatically. And the other product which you see is for mainly for developer, where they want to use the Okta as the authentication method. So they can use this product for that as well. And finally, we are the category creator. We are a new type of product because of which this category is created. So it is called as identity as a service. So we are only company to lead the magic quadrant for 3 years, and Okta is the only company, as you can see on the leader quadrant is there. And this is the latest report where you can see we are far ahead than any other competition in the market. So this is why the Okta is leader in the market, not just because all those big companies using the Okta, but also because of the technology that we are providing. And one of the most important is the Okta Single Sign-On, for which I'm going to give you the brief, and then we will see the demo how the single sign-on works. So as you can already have discussed that this is how the single sign-on will look like. You will have the login screen, whether in mobile or desktop, and once you log in, you can see your application, and you can create even different tab as well based on your category of the application. Once you log in, you don't have to use the username and password. You just click on any of the application and then it will be open into another tab, and then you are good to go ahead to access that application. So when we talk about the single sign-on, it is broader and more comprehensive than just a web portal. Our single sign-on product is built on 4 core pillars, which is integrated management, customization of the user, integration of the directory. It can be Active Directory or it can be directory on the cloud where you are using it as a source of truth, and finally the real-time reporting. So I want to focus more about the integration access management, where we have more than 6,500 pre-integrated app. I will show you where you can check this kind of application and what is available as a pre-integrated. And if any of your customer application is not available in this database, then you can integrate that easily just by using our configuration method to integrate the custom application. And we supports most common integration standard for the authentication, like secure web authentication application, which is working on web browser, for the log which requires the login detail, maybe supports ML, which is the latest technology. So is OpenID, Connect and OAuth. And if you have any on-premise app which is not published online, then you can integrate. We can integrate with the technologies like our F5 networks, Citrix, Palo Alto networks, and by doing that we can even access the on-prem application as well. And most importantly, what you will get is the flexible policy engine. You can configure the different kind of policy. For example, if the user is part of finance department and he wants to access the SAP application, and if he try to access this not from the office network but from outside the network, and he's using web browser, then deny the access. So even if the user is part of finance department and try to access sensitive data, but from outside, then you can configure that kind of policy. So we are giving you flexible policy engine as well in single sign-on. This is how customization is look like. You can see that there is no Okta logo is there. So by default, if you do not configure any changes, then you will get the Okta logo into the login page. And after that, once you log in, you will get also Okta logo. But you can change it, and I will show you how to change it during the demo. So this is again one of our customer, MGM Resort, which is one of the biggest customer. They own the half of the Las Vegas hotel in hotel chain, and you can see that they have actually customized the login page, and then user can log in into the, their program is MLife for all their loyal customer, and this is how the customization look like. So this is the diagram which displays the information about the Active Directory integration. As you can see here, I will just laser point. This is on-premise application, maybe SAP, Microsoft Dynamic, and you are using Active Directory to username and password information to log in into these applications. Now, if you want to use same username and password for your cloud application as well, so we can integrate Okta AD agent into the Active Directory. We can install this on the domain controller. Then you just give the username and password information of the Active Directory admin, and then it will automatically integrate with the Okta in the cloud. So all your username and password groups and which is there in the Active Directory, it will be automatically sync with the Okta on the cloud, and we will have that information, but we will not store the password. We will sync. We will also not sync the password. We are just going to check whether this user is a part of Active Directory or not. So when user try to log in into the web browser, Okta will send the information to basically it will send a token with the username and password, and then our agent will identify with Active Directory whether it's correct or not. So we don't store any credential in the cloud, and because of this agent, even if you have changed password is changed on the Active Directory for any of the user, it will be sync automatically. So no out of sync password will be there. And most importantly, for if you customer has the different domain, you can use the different Active Directory agent, and on top of that you can use all this source of truth to access your cloud application or the on-premise application. So this is how Okta will be the one who will replace the source of truth for all the users, and you can manage everything on the Okta. Don't have to go to Active Directory or, for example, user on the Google Drive or a Dropbox. You can use all the same username and password to access all the application. This is how Okta will integrate with the different applications. So this is about the single sign-on. Now we will move to the adaptive MFA. So why the MFA is important? Because username and password is not going to be enough in today's world, because anyone can anyone can launch an attack like a brute force attack by just by just using a script on the backend with most common username and password and hope that they will be able to crack, or maybe they will try to launch an attack using a credential stuffing attack where they get the username and password database from dark web, where from a website which is already been hacked, and they will use that user and password combination to launch an attack. So that is the reason why single sign-on with username and password is not enough, and the only way to increase the security and prevent this kind of attack is by using MFA, multi-factor authentication. And in Okta what you will get is the adaptive MFA. So how the adaptive MFA is different, that I will show you. But just to give you the brief about the threats, what kind of threat that hacker use, maybe phishing, you must have heard about it. You get a email with the phishing link, and there will be a website where it will ask for the user and password, and if you provide the user and password, that's how they get it. It's straightforward. The second one is the social engineering, which is, time consuming and requires a lot of effort, where they actually try to communicate with you and gather the information like what is your name, family background, and who are working in your company, and then they will, using that information, they will try to use the different combination of password to actually get into the network. And lastly, the insider threat, that is the most vulnerable. There are tons of employee within the organization who doesn't know what is the security, and they can easily fall into this kind of attack. So that is why we need to have a technology which is easy to use, which secures the authentication, and it is extensible as well. So the solution has to satisfy all these conditions, then only it is going to make the employee life easy. So secure authentication with the MFA, that is how we are going to implement for all the application. So again, we can protect across all the vector and all the user group, no matter from where the user is login, whether it's on premise or from a different country, what kind of application it is using doesn't matter. Whether it's login from mobile device or web browser, we can provide the two-factor authentication, and we can configure the policy as well. So for example, for local network, we will not ask for the two-factor authentication. We can configure that policy in Okta. And if we try to log in from the outside network, ask for the two-factor of authentication. This is how we can configure the policy for different user groups and the different user. And we must also need to balance the security as well. As you can see from left to right side, left is the lowest level of assurance, and right is the highest level of assurance. As you can see, the highest is of course the biometric, which is like for Apple ID or face recognition and Windows Hello. And as you go towards the left, you see that the technology like Okta Push, which is our own application. Physical token is also there for the second factor of authentication. Software OTP like Google Authenticator or any third-party software application. SMS, voice and email, that is also configurable in the Okta. And of course, you have to use the password for identify the user as well. So all this technology we can use in the Okta for the second factor of authentication. And this is how this application looks like. This is the mobile screen of the Okta Verify application. It requires very minimal configuration step up to run it. You just have to download application, scan one barcode, and then you are good to go. It will automatically integrate with the user, and then you can either use the 6-digit code, or you will get a push notification on your mobile for the second factor. So as you can see, you can either accept or deny if based on whether you are the one who tried to log into the network. Again, as I mentioned, it is very easy to deploy. You just have to download and scan one barcode on the login screen for the first time, and after that you don't have to do anything. And you can integrate with this 700 plus VPN and SAML integration application in the Okta. This is how the granularity we are giving for the second factor of authentication for the out of box. But it is not there, then still you can use it if your application supports SAML, OpenID Connect, OAuth kind of authentication technology. So as I mentioned, it has to be integrated with the entire organization and the security ecosystem as well. So we can integrate with all the application, different users. That is how we will be able to connect. And most importantly, using the API, we can integrate with the SIEM solution as well. so that you can use it for the forensic reporting purpose if there is any event or a breach that occur. So you will get the information from the user identity perspective that when this user logged in, and also we can integrate with the, as I mentioned, that the technology like F5, Palo Alto, we can do the integration with this kind of technology as well. And most importantly, in new borderless network, MFA and identity are the building block for the modern security strategy. So your strategy includes the strong authentication, centralized identity for ease of management, and elimination of the password whenever is possible, then reducing the risk through proper use lifecycle management. As I mentioned, once employee joins and till he leaves the company, there has to be way to give him the privilege and delete the user once he leaves the company. So that is, we can do it via lifecycle management. That will reduce the attack surface, so there won't be any dormant account if nobody is using it. And lastly, the provide the data for the holistic security visibility and enabling response in the event of compromise. So this is the one which are the core for the modern security, strong authentication with the MFA. Now I'm going to give you the demo of the Okta Single Sign-On and Multi-Factor Authentication. So let me share my screen again. So I have one demo account here. So this is how I'll let me sign out first. Yeah, so this is my login page. As you can see that I have already customized my login screen. I have uploaded my Redington company demo logo here. So, and even you can change the background as well if you would like to, that I will show you how to do that. So once I provide the username, I will give my password. And I will also connect my mobile here as well, because I have already configured the two-factor authentication, so it will ask me for the second factor, and I want you to see how it looks like. As you can see, this is my mobile on the top right side. So when I try to log in, it will ask me for the push verification. So here you can see that I got a push notification. Did you just try to sign in near Dubai? So I will just open it. And I'll say yes, it's me. So this is how simple it is, two-factor authentication, and this Okta Verify application is available as free with the single sign-on. So this is the three application that I have. So if I want to, for example, log in into this Barracuda, I will just click here and it will automatically log me into the partner portal of this. I don't have to provide my username and password. As you can see, this is the profile of my, so it's asking me to sign out as well, change my password. So this is how it logged me into this portal. So this is how the single sign-on looks like. But I will go to the admin and show you how to, I have integrated the Active Directory here. So to integrate the Active Directory, go to here, Active Directory. It's already been integrated. And I have imported the groups from the Active Directory as well. So if I go to the group here, you can see these all are the training.ad.training.lab. So this is the domain of my testing lab from where I have integrated all the different groups, and then whoever user is part of this domain can log in into the Okta application. And the different, again, the one thing which I want to show you is the automation, which is life cycle management. So for example, you can give the name as a damn test automation. What, add a condition here, for example, if user is inactive in Okta, okay, for how many days, for example, let's say 90 days, save. Then what you want to do, You can select send email to the user. This is the preview. This is how the user will get an email that please contact your administrator. Or you can change the user life cycle. That means you can suspend, deactivate and delete the user from the Okta account, so that if somebody is not actually logged in and the account is there as a dormant account, the user will be automatically deleted from the Okta account. And if it's on the Active Directory and we have integrated through our agent, then also it will be automatically deleted. So this is how we can perform the automation. And lastly, where we can do the customization, I will just show you. As you can see, I have uploaded the logo here, and here the sign-in configuration, we can upload the logo of the company for the, I will upload the logo. This is how it will give you the preview as well. So you can customize this page as per your requirement, and you can do all kind of changing into the HTTP code as well. So for example, you can see this is the sign in page detail. Instead of signing, you can type anything which you would like. Username info, password label, password info. You can change it as per your requirement. It's not mandatory to use the same sign on page. You can change the sign out page as well. Different changes we can do under the customization. And on dashboard, it will show you the status. So for example, yesterday I tried to log in from one of a different machine than this machine. So it reported, I got an email that these are the user which you try to logged in, and I just reported that to the administrator. So here I got the activity that one suspicious report user activity has been reported. So if we click here, we will get more information about this user which we can use for the forensic purpose. So it will show me all the detail, who is the actor, then what kind of client that I use. It's a Chrome on Windows 10. What was the event? User reported the suspicious activity manually. Severity is 1. And it will show you the IP detail as well, geographical context as well, latitude and longitude as well from where the user is logged in. So this much of the granularity reporting you will get. So it will be very easy to identify if somebody is trying to log in into the application from a location where you have never imagined, or it is not allowed from a specific country, then you can easily take the appropriate action after that. So this is what you will get under the reporting purpose. And most importantly, our application database from where you can integrate the application. We have 6,500 plus pre-integrated app which you can add into this. So this is where under application you will see all these apps. So for example, you can see Microsoft Office 365, which is most integrated app on the Okta platform. So you can integrate Office 365 and use Okta as a source of truth to log in into the Office 365. And go back to the application. And if we go back to the application, these are the application that has been active. So for example, this is one of the Fortinet VPN application. Here I can assign this application to the different people and different group. Then only that user or a group will be able to see this application. Else he won't be able to see the application. So you can assign as per your requirement what application which user is required. So this is it from my side, guys. If you have any query, let me check the question and answer. I'm happy to help here. Pindya?
Well, I don't see any questions coming in, Ravi. Thank you so much for the session. Thank you everyone for attending the session and making time for the webinar. We have a few more sessions lined up throughout the month. We will share our invite with you. Also, we will be sharing a recording of this session so that you can refer to it whenever you want to. We will also be sharing the contact details of our sales team as well as Ravi, and you can write to us whenever you have any queries related to Okta. Thank you so much, and I hope all of you have a great day ahead.